Hello Starcraft enthusiasts, and welcome back to Day 4 of this tournament, SC2Casts.com's first invitational, sponsored and brought to you once again by SC2Casts.com, your source of info on all the most recent casts, commentators, events, and pro games. I'm your host once again, Shiki SC, and this is going to be the ace match, the third and final game between Liquid TLO, spawning as the Yellow Terran in the bottom left-hand corner on Steps of War. So very, very short rush distance on this map, and already his opponent, WhiteRa, the red Protoss, spawning at the top right-hand position, is going to be putting down a proxy, and it is a pylon here just south of the Zelnaga Tower. And with that, he's going to be putting down a gateway and putting on some early pressure. And now it's up to TLO to react and see if he can deal with this. Of course, it was loser picks next map. TLO did lose game 2 on Metalopolis, and that means he chose Steps of War here, so it is once again up to him to take advantage of the map he has picked. His supply depot is finished, his barracks is not started, he is checking for a proxy, but it's not in his base, it is outside of his base. Now, it's not really that much of a difference, but it is about half of the run distance less. The probe is taking a few pot shots at this SCV, just buying some time, maybe stopping some of these SCVs from scouting. And because if TLO gets a scout off any time in the next few minutes, he will be able to notice there are no gateways in WhiteRa's base. Duckload Ra once again is WhiteRa, and he will expect some kind of cheese play. And no SCVs have left his base quite yet, so he may be in a little bit of trouble. The gateway is just finished, and the first zealot is now being chrono boosted out. WhiteRa is almost supply locked, so he needs to get this pylon down. If the pylon doesn't finish by the time this zealot finishes, which it is not going to, he will be supply locked, and still only working off one gateway. I find this kind of peculiar. One gateway proxy, that's kind of rare. Watch, next he'll put a cybernetics core down and make it even weirder. But he does put a gas down, so I really don't know what WhiteRa's thinking right now, but he does have a zealot now inside of TLO's base. TLO is constructing a bunker here at the back of his mineral line. Very, very intelligent play by him, but it is not going to be in range of this gas geyser. So the refinery SCVs that were in there, in the refinery, are going to get taken out. There is one Marine here taking some pot shots off at this zealot, while the SCVs provide a little bit of a meat shield here for the Marines. And it looks like looks to be like TLO is in a decent position now. He has held off a little bit of the rush. There are a couple zealots here still in the base, one thwacking away, one retreating to just regenerate his shields. There are two Marines here to defend against these zealots, and this probe trying to be a pesky little probe. And a little bit of repetition there for you. Zealots regaining some of their shields. The Marines need to do a little bit more of a hit and move attack to continually deplete those shields. And it looks like TLO is going to be retreating with his barracks to put on that tech lab, more than likely to get a few stalkers out. Or sorry, not stalkers. Wow, I'm thinking wrong. Need to get a few marauders out, and likely with that concussive shells to help kite these zealots and anything else that he may push out. These SCVs coming forward to be a little bit of a meat shield for the Marines, trying to take out the Zealots, but the Zealots have so much life and shields that it's not going to be very effective. The SCVs are very, very hurt right now. They're in the red. If they could bleed, they would be. I think they're kind of mechanical. Yeah, they are mechanical and biological. How does that work? So they are half and half. So they ooze half blood and half oil. Take it from me, that is what it is. Anyway, Stalker now coming in for WhiteRa. This is going to be a little bit different of a pressure here for WhiteRa, or for TLO. He's going to need to deal with this in a different way. The Stalkers are able to take out Marines quite easily, but he's not even focusing the Marines. He was actually just focusing down the SCV that was low on health, and now he just finishes up the two Marines, and now a Marauder pops out and takes out that Stalker. But another Stalker reinforcing, and he is going to have the upper end. He is going to end this battle with about 10 life, I betcha. Am I close? 4. Oh, SCV trying to come in and clean this up, but that Stalker is going to be able to retreat, almost getting a quick shot off that SCV, trying to be the hero of the team. But TLO is in bad shape. He lost a ton of workers there. He's now down 22 to 12. Even with his mules, that is not going to be good enough. He's going to need to reproduce a lot of those SCVs and get his economy back up and running if he wants to win this. The Marauders need to focus down the slow or the weak Stalkers. course, if you do slow one, you might as well focus it down and kill it. And it looks like this Zealot is going to get out, and he's focusing down the pylon, but the Zealot is out now, being slowed as well. Marauders can easily kite those Zealots, though, with that concussive shell. And now 3 Marauders against 2 Zealots and 1 Stalker. The Stalker dies, and the Zealots are already almost dead as well. These Marauders are just a clear winner against these Zealots. They just need to keep targeting, just kind of back and forth, targeting the Zealots to keep them all slowed. If he could put 2 in one control group and 2 in another, but that's just too much micromanagement at this point. Wow, WhiteRa snuck a pylon up here at the base of almost the choke point of his natural expansion. And, ooh, another Stalker comes out, and there are 2 Zealots, but it looks like he's just going to retreat with these units. He's not going to engage. He knows that these 5 Marauders would easily take out these units. They're on hold position, and they are going to die. WhiteRa takes them off hold position, but it's not going to be in time. WhiteRa is focusing down the weak Marauders. He may get a kill. He does get a kill. Is he going to get a second kill? No, he doesn't. The Zealot is trying to get one final swipe off on this Marauder. TLO needs to micromanage it back a little bit and keep it alive. Probably needs to take out this gateway ASAP. There is no more incoming pressure, but he doesn't know that. He thinks there's still more pressure incoming, so he's going to retreat to regain his footing. I personally would have taken out that warp gate or that gateway. It was warping to or morphing to a warp gate. If you leave that up too long, he may recreate a pylon and get to use that again. Take that 150 minerals away from him ASAP, especially now that you've got so many Marauders. You've got 7. 2 of them are in the red, but still, he's... Oh, no. TLO has supply locked himself. So he's getting Stimpak and trying to get out a Marine here, but and ooh, also building a Ghost Academy, so very nice job by him, knowing that he needs to come back and get a caster unit to turn the tide of this battle. The EMP would be a very, very big game turner for him. He is almost caught back up in Harvesters, but if we look at the army tab, WhiteRa's army is just so much more effective with gas. Because of these sentries, that is a phenomenal amount of gas utilized in his composition. If he can have these Zealots absorbing the damage and put up a Guardian Shield, he'll be able to take out these Marauders so easily. TLO realizing this, he is going to retreat. Like I said, once again, come take this out, kill it. It doesn't need to be there. It's just one unit or one building that Duckload Ra should not have on the field. But at this point, the game is slowing down a little bit. You see a little more macro play. The Ghost Academy is up. He is trying to put out another Ghost, but he is supply locked once again. So TLO clearly a little bit thrown off on his game. He's been supply locked 2 or 3 times now. Because of that, he put out 2 supply depots so he could continually produce units, and he's now switched up to 2 Ghosts in production. And if those Ghosts can get out and get their EMPs ready, he may be able to come back in this game. Looking back at the income tab, he's still behind on Harvesters, and he probably always will be for the next foreseeable future. WhiteRa putting up his Nexus, it's about 1/3 of the way done. At the same time, TLO is putting up his command center, about 1/4 of the way done. So kind of neck and neck in that situation. But once again, looking at the army tab, it's a little bit closer now. TLO with these Ghosts coming out, that was a lot of gas that he needed to incorporate into his army. And of course, you need to balance your minerals and your gas very well into your army, because gas units tend to be a little more tide turner-ish than just mineral units like Zealots or Marines. WhiteRa does have an observer out on the field. That means he's got a robotics facility, and that means that he's getting immortals. That is already his 2nd immortal, so taking my eyes off that production tab, I missed that. And I don't know what the little... Yeah. Oh, that observer actually must have got scanned and killed, as it is no longer in the field and is no longer in the unit composition tab. So ground level 1 upgrade is finished for the Terran army, but the Ghosts do have enough energy for EMP. One nice EMP getting down, but not hitting the Immortals. He needs to hit those Immortals and those Sentries, because if he doesn't hit those Sentries, and he doesn't, WhiteRa, very, very great play by splitting up his Sentries, allowing him to continually force field this ramp, and because of that, TLO cannot push out. If he pushes out, he may only get half of his units out, and then another force field to come in. He needed those EMPs to hit those Immortals and those Sentries, and a little bit of a desperation play, all of the SCVs coming out, and a force field comes down and forces TLO to GG. So Liquid TLO with a great first game takes the first one. Very impressive Hellion play. That was great harassment. The second game, WhiteRa took it with a little bit more macro play and some obvious. He loves those Void Rays, but that was a large composition of his force for the most of the matchup. And game 3, WhiteRa is able to take it with some very nice early harassment, and TLO just could not get back on the right foot. He was backpedaling the whole game. But anyways, that is all for today, and we will have Group B of Day 4 coming for you tomorrow. I can't say who it is, but I hope it's a good matchup. See you guys tomorrow.